What's up? What's up? Welcome to another market recap. Today is October 14th, 2025. So I've been MIA a little bit past few days, maybe a week, kind of traveling around. Haven't really been too actively trading, haven't taken any trades. Been scanning occasionally, but not really seeing anything to my liking. But looking to get back into the swing of things, get back to my daily uploads now that that stuff's kind of behind me that I was dealing with. So yeah, let's get into it. I have a decent watch list tonight. I have a dollar group, have a PLN group, and 2 euro pairs, and then a random kind of pound yen. This dollar huff is probably my favorite of the dollar group. I mean, there's dollar PLN that could be in the dollar group as well. It's kind of nice. I think the price action lines up the best on dollar huff. The only kind of negative I have with it is it's sitting on the daily 50. I would prefer it kind of broken back below. But your 4 hour and your 1 hour both have kind of room to move to the EMAs. It's a 1 hour IBO, so an initial break of the 50. Looking for a pullback and then a follow through, so playing a wave 3 down to the 4 hour 50. I think that kind of move is probably pretty likely, even if this thing is sitting at the daily 50. But it looks nice, pretty clean. Nice clear lower low from this low on both your 4 hour, 1 hour, 10-minute time frame. Nice kind of wave 1 break as well. Looking for kind of an ACB kind of style pullback to the 10-minute 200. And I have started paying attention to the 15-minute time frame as well. I'm starting to, as I've been paying attention to it, I don't know if I'm ready to make the switch yet and start using the 15-minute in my kind of top right layout up here. But it fits a little better with kind of the fractals that I trade from my idea generation side of things. Like I have my daily time frame, which then goes down to the 4 hour, which then goes down to the 1 hour. And the 15-minute is a better fractal, I think, from the 1 hour to the 15 rather than the 1 hour to the 10. I'm just noticing the EMAs line up a little bit better. Like if it's a 1 hour CBO, it's very likely a pretty solid 15-minute ACB. Or in this case, it's a 1 hour IBO, which one level down, so like 4 fractals down, it should be a CBO, and it is, on this time frame. But whereas if I use my 10-minute, it's essentially turning into an ACB. So kind of interesting, just something I'm paying attention to here more. But yeah, I like the price action here. Looks good. No, only kind of qualm is that daily 50, but your candlesticks and everything look okay. Euro dollar, similar kind of vibe. You don't have the daily 50 in the way, right? Like you have room to move to the daily 50, which is nice. Same kind of break of, here, but you haven't really broken these highs here. Where on euro dollar, you haven't really broken the next one either. You're kind of sitting at it on dollar huff, but on euro dollar, you're not quite sitting there. But I think the overall price action's still there. I like how the EMAs are lining up with the pivot and R1. So 10-minute looks good. So 10-minute ACB. 1 hour IBO. It's really not going to be anything on our 4 hour yet because it's an IBO on the 1 hour. If we had a CBO on the 1 hour, it would be an IBO on our 4 hour. But essentially, it's really kind of just playing a daily pullback to that 50 because this is starting to look like a daily IBO to go short, but it needs a pullback first, right? So we're kind of playing that daily pullback. But looks good. And then dollar Singapore, a decent daily. If it kind of rejecting off of the daily 200, right? But it's not broken levels that well. That's the only thing I don't like about it. Like you can draw in a trend line like that, or you can draw in off that low and then here, right? And if you do this, it hasn't really broken trend yet. Whereas the other dollar huff and euro dollar have broken trend on some of these different time frames. So I think it's an option. I just don't think it's the best. It's kind of a secondary setup. Dollar Swiss is similar. I think you could probably put dollar Swiss above dollar Singapore because it does at least have a little bit of that kind of break that dollar huff and euro dollar do. But it's sitting at the 4-hour 50, right? 1 hour 200, still sitting at the daily 50 as well. 10-minute looks okay, but you're sitting at these lows. Whereas, dollar huff, you have room to move to those EMAs, and that the EMAs are essentially our target in a 2-to-1 position. So I think these are possibilities. They're just secondary kind of B tier setups, but something to trade if, say, one of these pull back, but neither one of these do, And then the PLN group, of course, I have dollar PLN as a primary, very similar to dollar huff and euro dollar. All levels kind of look good. You have room to move to your daily 50, so that's fine. Room to move to the 4-hour 50, room to move to the 2-hour 200. I mean, the 1 hour 200. So you're all good there. Once price pulls back, you pretty much have nothing in your way to the target. So I like that. I like the price action on the 1 hour. Again, fits the same vibe as these other kind of dollar pairs, so it looks good. CAD PLN. A little wonky in this kind of like price action, right? But I mean, it relatively has broken trend at this point. So you could say this is a CBO. It's just like, where do you say the waves are is the tough thing. I don't really know. I think this has potential for a short. Of these PLNs, I like dollar PLN a lot more, but I think it's a possibility. I think it's an option. Flagged it. We'll see what happens. See how this develops. I don't love the choppy kind of price action here, but it's a CBO on your 1 hour. It's an ATC on your 4 hours, advanced trend continuation short. Your daily time frame is essentially bouncing off of your daily 50. So, and I could see price moving down here back to the lows, creating like a double bottom before he's reversing. I mean, price is in need of a reversal at some point, kind of a break trend, but don't know when that's going to happen on a daily time frame. Yeah, I think it's an option. And then pound PLN, similar but a little bit more messy than CAD PLN. A nice kind of break though, like wave one, and then pull back. Looking at this as like a CBO, but it's also kind of a CBO on your 4 hour. You have the same kind of daily rejection as CAD PLN does. I don't think dollar PLN does. No, it broke. Yeah. So it's interesting. Both pound PLN, CAD PLN are exotic pairs though. So I don't know even with spreads if these are tradable for me, but I flagged them just to kind of have some options here. And then at this Euro group, again, just to have some options. I don't think these are primaries. I think these are kind of B tier setups. But, sort of kind of double bottom here on your 1 hour, break back up, looking at like a CBO. But it hasn't broken this high here, which I don't love. But you do have a nice kind of daily bouncing off your daily 50. Could see price going back to the previous highs and retesting them for pretty much like a fourth, fifth time. So yeah, I think it's got momentum. It fits as well with like our euro dollar bias. I mean, granted, we're playing kind of a dollar weakness here, I think, for the most of these pairs. Yeah, we're playing a dollar weakness, but it is still playing a euro strength. This euro pound plays into that. Euro CAD, same kind of vibe plays into that, right? This looks similar to CAD PLN. So kind of a CBO on your 1 hour, ATC on your 4 hour. Don't really know what it's going to be on the 10-minute. It's something, again, kind of a B tier setup, I think, but it has a nice kind of bounce off of your daily 50, and I could see it coming back to the previous highs up here. So CAD PLN, Euro CAD, pretty similar. And then the last pair I have, and potentially the first one up for a trade, would be this pound yen. I don't absolutely love the price action, but I think it's okay. I may take a shot at this if this is the first trade. If this doesn't play out, then of course, I've got these other trades here. I can then take a second shot for the day. But I have this like large wave 1, a wave 2, a wave 3, wave 4. So you're playing a wave 5 CBO. I mean, it's a wave 5 on your 4 hour and your 1 hour, right? 10-minute looks pretty nice with this clear breakdown, kind of slow pullback now to the 10-minute 200. 1 hour kind of 50 area. If we switch this to a 15-minute time frame, might look a little better. Look about the same. So, but I could see a kind of a CBO play here. It's like a 2-to-1 trade back down to the lows. Because inevitably I see price from a daily perspective had this strong breakout, right? So eventually price will probably retrace and retest the previous highs. Like you have this high here, this high, as well as you have this overall high that if prices continue higher, it's got to retest it at some point, as well as that would line up with their daily 50. And a decent sized kind of fib pullback. If we look at here, yeah, it would line up with kind of 0.618 fib. We're already kind of bouncing off of 0.5 fib though. So there is a potential. That's why I didn't flag this primary is if you're looking at it from kind of this 4-hour perspective, you could argue this is like an ACB, right? Like strong wave one, this kind of, like shallow pullback. An ACB usually goes down a little bit. It almost looks like it changes trend and then comes down and usually bounces off like your 200 EMA. And then you get the continuation from there. But it still kind of has that vibe now. Like you could say it just from here continues, right? So I don't know. I think the edge is towards the downside on it, but it has some risks essentially. But to take this short, there's really not anything in the way of the target, right? The target is pretty much this previous spike up high on your daily and 4-hour and your 1 hour. I think the better kind of horizontal support is the line I've drawn in here because it bounces off this high as well as this spike here, and then a little bit more solid here, and well as you can go a little bit lower, and you kind of have this zone, I would say, a little bit lower across here on your daily. So it's interesting. Watch it. If volume continues like this, though, like super hard into this area, probably not. And then development watch. I'm watching Kiwi pairs, right? And this random dollar CAD. So dollar CAD still on watch, but I'm watching it for a week or two, kind of just running. Eventually, when this breaks down, it should probably, at this point, it looks like it'll be a nice, depending on the size of the break, either going to be an IBO or CBO on our 1 hour, probably an IBO on our 4 hour, and obviously 10-minute should line up for an ACB. So it should be a nice kind of short trade whenever it breaks down. Kiwi dollar is looking nice here soon for reversal. I would have entertained taking this trade today if we would have had a stronger break here, right? If price would have pushed about to the midpoint here, it would have broken this previous trend pretty nicely. And then I would look to trade that IBO. But we haven't really gotten a clean breakout yet. Kiwi CAD, similar, right? Still kind of holding this trend short, but starting to look pretty bullish. Pound Kiwi starting to look pretty bearish. Nice kind of break here. Give us an IBO or a CBO, and then an IBO on our 4 hour. And then Kiwi Swiss, similar. So all these Kiwis, essentially, I'm looking to play bullish plays once they break out and break down. So yeah, a lot of decent options, I think, tonight. Hopefully we get some pullbacks and some opportunities to take some of these trades. So either way, that's all I got. And I'll catch you guys tomorrow. See ya.